UFC 315. This is the official betting video. How we doing, everybody? My name is Young Pasty, aka the White Boy Wonder, and I'm here today to give you all of my official bets for UFC 315. We'll go over everyone's favorite section, the parlay section. I got a bunch of parlays for you guys, so check that out. My lean section, so bets and plays I'm considering, specifically fighter money lines, over and under on rounds, and then method of victory props, and then lastly my stayaways. And thank you, everybody. Just wanted to say thank you. We have surpassed the 200 subscriber mark, so I appreciate you guys clicking that subscribe button. We are on the path to 300 now. So, if you guys like the content, if you guys like the bets I'm putting out, click that subscribe button, like the video, comment. The support goes a long way. Now, as we always do, I have to recap last week. UFC Des Moines, Iowa, my home state. And pulling up the results here now. Hey, my home state treated me well. We hit 4 out of the 5 bets, a total profit of 2.06 units last week. So we'll take a profit and we'll move that good momentum into this week here for UFC 315. Now, bet number 2. Yeah, complete fail on both of those legs. So that one was just a bad look, but bet number 1 hit with with ease pretty much, other than Mason Jones kind of having me on skates for a little bit. Bet number 3, the 3-pick parlay of the week, definitely hit with ease. The D-Rod KO was nasty, and then the RDR fraud check on Bo Nickel. Yes, solid week. So hey, like I said, we'll take the profit, we'll take the good momentum, and we'll move it into this week here for UFC 315, and these are the official bets of the week. We sort these in confidence, okay? So bet number 1 is always the most confident play of the week, and then, so on and so forth there. So bet number 1, my most confident play of the week for UFC 315. It is a 2-pick parlay, technically like a same game parlay, same fight parlay. So we have Belal Muhammad money line and the over 2.5 rounds. Combine both of those together, it is minus 150. We are putting 1.5 units on it. Belal, remember the name Muhammad. I feel like he's going to kind of do the same thing that he did to Leon Edwards, right? That intense pressure, the grappling, the improved striking. He can't sit there and strike for 5 rounds of JDM. That's not going to bode well for Belal. And when he's saying he has Canelo hands, I think he's taking it a little too far, But he has good striking, okay? He is the champion. He looked pretty good in the striking department versus Leon Edwards. Has a good chin, right? So I don't the knockout, I don't really think it's likely. I mean anyone in an octagon can get knocked out, right? I'm just saying Belal is durable and has a pretty good chin. That's what I'm saying. But yeah, how does Belal get his wins? Generally by decision. He only has 1 finish over Sean Brady, and I've said it before, that was kind of like a weird kind of night for Sean Brady, but the fight is bound to go over 2.5 rounds with ease, in my opinion. So, but to get the number down from Belal, he was sitting at minus 180, minus 190, minus 200, somewhere around there. We're taking the over 2.5. I don't know. Maybe Belal gets a finish in the 4th or 5th round. Maybe he just breaks down JDM. We haven't seen JDM, Jack Della Maddalena, in the 4th or 5th round like this versus, somebody to the likes of Belal. So, you never know. Some of these people wilt in the 4th or 5th round in those championship rounds. So, we'll see. But, yeah, Belal, remember the name Muhammad, over 2.5 rounds in the fight, minus 150. We are putting 1.5 units on it. That's the most confident play of the week. Bet number 2. I had to wait a very long time for this. I put this bet in like an hour before I just dropped this video. So it's Alexa Grasso on the points, plus 3.5, minus 140. We are putting 1 unit on it. Now she's going up against Natalia Silva, right? It is hard for me to believe that Natalia Silva is just going to dust Alexa Grasso for all 3 rounds and win them handedly, right? I don't see that. I think Alexa can at least pull out 1. I'm looking around because I have an Alexa in the room. Sorry. Anywho, I believe in Alexa. I think that she can get at least one round. I think all the judges can agree to give her one round in this fight, right? I don't think Natalia Silva is going to dust her. I think Grasso can find success in the first or second round and get at least one round on the scorecards. Now, me personally, I'm probably going to sprinkle a little bit on her money line too. It's sitting at like plus 210. But when it comes to the official bets, I think this is a solid look. I think the judges will be able to give her one round. Every single judge will be able to, let Alexa Grasso win one round. Not let her win, but, give her the round based on her performance, right? Now, what does the plus 3.5 mean if you guys don't know it? It means if the fight goes to decision, right, the plus 3.5 is on the scorecard. So I'm assuming that Natalia Silva will win 2 rounds. Alexa Grasso will win 1 round. And when that adds up on the scorecards, it's 29-28, right? 10-10-9. You win a round, you usually get 10 points. The other person usually gets 9 if they don't get their butt whooped. So, 29-28, 29-28, 29-28, 3 judges. That is 3 points, right? So, again, if Alexa Grasso just wins 1 round, as long as all the judges give it to her, this bet will hit. Or, if Alexa Grasso gets a finish, this bet just hits automatically, right? Now, if on the other side Natalia Silva gets a finish, obviously this is going to lose. So, it all boils down to either an Alexa Grasso finish or, her on the scorecards. So, she could even lose the fight and we can win this bet. So, just trying to explain it the best I can. Again, Alexa Grasso plus 3.5, minus 140. We are putting 1 unit on it. Bet number 3. This is the 3-pick parlay of the week. We hit last week. Let's hit it this week. 3 solid legs that we put together to get a good number. So, first leg, Navajo Stirling. Second leg, Jasmine Jasudavicius. Third leg, Jose Aldo. Plus 166, we are putting 1 unit on it. We're getting some good odds for the 3-pick parlay of the week. It usually sits around, even money. So I found 3 solid legs here that I have pretty good confidence in. Now, Navajo Stirling, he is going to dust Erslan, bro. Right? Knockout incoming, right? I just see it, man. This other guy, he just doesn't have the fighter IQ. He has some wrestling in his pocket to use, but he won't use it, right? He won't come with a wrestling heavy approach, which would probably benefit him versus Stirling. Stirling's a great kickboxer, a great striker. He's going to knock him out. He's going to find the mark. Jasmine Jasudavicius going up against Jessica Andrade. Not really a fan of Jessica Andrade, to be honest with you. And the size and reach difference is crazy. So you'll see it. Jasmine's going to be a much bigger and stronger girl than, not stronger, but much bigger and taller girl than Jessica Andrade. I think Jessica Andrade definitely throws some power shots, and Jasmine will need to avoid those. But how that fight will look, Jasmine's going to take down Jessica Andrade with ease. It's going to be a 3-round decision. So just give me Jasmine there. And then Jose Aldo going up against Aiemann Zahabi. Again, I wish that they would have gave him a better fight, but a pretty good look here. He's sitting around like minus 200. It's the last leg to finish it out, right? Getting up there on the main card. I think he wins at least 2 rounds out of 3 against Zahabi. Definitely the first round, right? Zahabi might turn up in the second or third. But I got faith in Jose Aldo. He's only 1 year older than Zahabi. He has a lot more fighting and, UFC miles than Zahabi. So he's a little bit older in like that sense, right? But the boxing and striking, right? He actually is, I think he's going to be a little more quicker. He just needs to throw more kicks, check kicks, and a little more volume. In my opinion, he's got it. So, Jose Aldo, solid leg. That is the 3-pick parlay of the week. Plus 166, we are putting 1 unit on it. Bet number 4. Whew. Flying through this here. Manon Fiorot. And the over 2.5 rounds. Minus 110, we are putting 1 unit on it. Yes, I'm going up against the champion, Shevchenko. Tough for me to do, but Manon Fiorot has shown me solid and great takedown defense, so I'm assuming that she's going to be able to stuff most of those takedowns. If so, Shevchenko might be able to get 1.5 rounds out of it at best. She's a much better striker in my opinion. Has a lot more power in her shots, and dude, man, she's a force to be reckoned with. And this is a champion, right? This is a champion she's going up against. So the over 2.5 rounds, again, I think the fight's going to go distance, right? But we're just slapping the over 2.5 rounds on there to get her number a little bit lower, right? Because she's sitting at minus 150 at the money line right now. The fight's definitely going to go over 2.5 rounds. So slap that on there to get a better number. Minus 110. We are putting 1 unit on it. So those are the 4 official bets of the week. There may be a bet number 5. I'm not sure. Check the comments. There's one play I'm specifically looking at, but I need to catch the weigh-ins. So we move on to the parlay section, everybody's favorite section, right? I got a bunch of parlays for you guys. We'll go from small odds to big odds. And, I got a bunch of different looks. Even some, props and plays that are against my actual picks. But, these are parlays. Some of them are long shot parlays. We'll see how it goes, right? I got full confidence in some of these here. So we'll start with the smallest odds. This is a round prop parlay at almost even money. It's the overs on most of the main card except the main event. So Shevchenko versus Fiorot, Grasso versus Silva, and Aldo versus Zahabi. Put all those together, we're sitting at minus 103. Kind of semi-alternate to my 3-pick parlay of the week. Sitting at minus 103. Next parlay, we got Natalia, Silva. We have Benoit, St. Denis, and we have Jasmine, Jasudavicius. Plus 105. Again, kind of another alternate to my 3-pick parlay of the week. I picked Alexa Grasso, to win the fight. I have an official bet on her at plus 3.5. But, this is, again, another alternate to my 3-pick parlay of the week. I'm just giving you guys parlay. I have this parlay in, just, not to the extent of my official bets, right? My official bets, I have a lot more money on. These parlays are, for you guys and for fun. So, next parlay. This one we bump up. All right, we're bumping up a lot more. This one's sitting at plus 720. So we have a Navajo Stirling KO. We have a Jasmine Jasudavicius decision, and we have a Belal decision. So all 3 of those sitting at plus 720. This one honestly is my favorite parlay of the week, right? I see Navajo Stirling. I just keep envisioning in my head, and he's just gonna slam Erslan with a hook or a straight jab, and he's gonna fall straight to the ground, dude. So Navajo Stirling KO. Jasmine Jasudavicius. Jessica Andrade is tough, so it's hard to take her out. So I think she can go 3 rounds with her. Natalia Silva didn't do it. Right? She didn't take her out, so is Jasmine going to do it? I don't think so. And then lastly, Belal, remember the name, Muhammad. How does he win fights? By decision. So I think he takes Della, Maddalena all 5 rounds, to be honest with you. JDM's tough. I haven't seen his cardio tested in 4th or 5th rounds in the UFC like this. We'll see how it goes, but, Belal generally, goes decision in all his fights. So, yeah, plus 720. That one, honestly, is my favorite parlay of the week. We bump it up a little bit more. We got Bragg, Katona. We have Modestas, Bukauskas, and we have an Aldo decision. So plus 774 for all 3 of those. Another confident one I like. I'm really looking at the Katona one. And I say this every week, guys. Every single leg in all these parlays I like individually. So, if you want to just play them singly, I would recommend that. I like all these plays individually. Or if you want to mix and match some of the legs, again, these are up to you. These are just the parlays I put in, right? So, Bragg, Katona, Modestas, Bukauskas, Aldo decision, plus 774. We move on up to plus 1,577. We have Stirling KO. We have Mallot sub, yes, and then Belal decision, so plus 1,577. They call this cycle a KO, a sub, a decision. So that's my kind of little cycle play of the week. We're doubling the odds. Plus 3,121 here. We have Modestas Bukauskas decision. We have Charles Radtke KO. And we have Aldo decision. Plus 3,121. Right? Modestas, I think if I take that fight to decision. To speak on the Mallot sub is live. Okay? And Radtke KO is live. So this kind of covers me on both of those. And then lastly, the Aldo decision. Pretty confident in that. So plus 3,121. Moving on up a little bit more. Okay? We got a Navajo Stirling decision. We have Mike Mallot sub. And then Jack Della Maddalena money line. 3,916. And then my last parlay of the week. This is my most disgusting parlay. The parlay I really don't want to hit at all, but I'll put it in. Plus 4,467. We have Jack Della Maddalena KO. We have Shevchenko decision. And we have Zahabi decision. Plus 4,467. Again, this one's nasty and disgusting. It makes me want to throw up. But it's live. It really is. It could happen. So those are all the parlays of the week. Again, don't go and throw your life savings on these. Put little, small plays here and there. Pick and choose what you want. Maybe you want to mix some extra legs. But these are the plays I have going for my parlays of the week. And then we move on to my leans section. So these are bets and plays I'm considering, but I have not put official money on yet. So first we'll start with fighter money lines. I said it before my official plays. The Alexa Grasso money line plus 210. I feel like it deserves a sprinkle, man. Coming off 3 championship fights here, now going up against Natalia Silva, who has looked good, right? But it's like, I think everyone is hyping her movement and her volume. I think Alexa Grasso is going to be able to cut off all the angles. She's going to hit her with the jab. She's going to use her striking. Maybe even mix in the wrestling and the clinch on the fence. She's going to make it a much closer fight than people expect. Next, Modestas Bukauskas sitting at minus 108 now. Technically an underdog, at least where I looked last. So, yeah, I think he's live to win that fight. I really am not a fan of Cutelaba. Yes, he is strong. Yes, he has knockout power. He come out screaming. The aura is, up and down, right? Because his record doesn't show. He's only he has a .500 record. You know what I mean? So it's like, what am I saying? .500. He's 19-10. That's what I'm saying. But I just don't trust him, right? Modestas has at least shown me in the last few fights he's shown improvements in his second stint in the UFC. So I think at least now at an underdog price, maybe something to look at. Daniel Santos sitting at plus 100 now. He was at minus 140 in last time I looked in the predictions video. Now he's sitting at plus 100 underdog status. So I think this fight's going to be crazy between him and Lee. I think it's going to be crazy. I think there's going to be a lot of power shots thrown. I think there's going to be a lot of violence and blood. I think it's going to be a fun one. And, as if he's the underdog now, I might as well take a shot on the underdog, right? Lastly, Brad Katona plus 142. And then the plus 3.5 on the spread. I'm waiting for that play. I really need to look at the number there, but I think that's a good play too. Brad Katona's tough, Ultimate Fighter winner. I just think that, he's going to take his opponent to deep waters, right? Yes, he had a moment against Umar Nurmagomedov where he, checked him, but after that he got controlled for 3 rounds. I don't know how to say it. Bezkat. Prior to that, a little inactive, KO power, but, in their kind of regional scenes, right? I'm looking up his film on freaking, YouTube and stuff, right? I don't know. I'm going to take the more proven fighter, the more durable fighter. He has a chin. He showed he can go to war. So, yeah, underdog status. Brad Katona, a good kind of look, in my opinion. And the plus 3.5, if it's a close fight. So, those are all the money line leans I have. Next is the over and under round plays that I like. First is the Daniel Santos versus Lee to go under 2.5 rounds, minus 130. There's going to be violence in this fight, guys. These guys are going to go at it. A lot of shots are going to be thrown. I feel like someone's going to get knocked down and knocked out. So minus 130 is a good play for that. If you're, not really certain on a side, right? I think Daniel Santos might take it out at plus 100, but minus 130 is not really a far price up from that. You know what I mean? And then it covers you on both sides if there is a finish to happen. So. Next is the Stirling versus Erslan over 2.5, sitting at minus 155. Oh, no, not over, under. My apologies. What am I saying? That fight's not going to distance, dude. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe you think Erslan's going to get a finish, but it's, Stirling knockout is sitting at minus 105. But the under 2.5 will cover you on both sides. Maybe, I don't know, Stirling gets a sub. That would be extremely rare and out of the ordinary. Or maybe Erslan, finds a shot or gets his own sub and uses wrestling somehow. I don't know. It covers you on both sides again, so under 2.5, minus 155. The Modestas Bukauskas versus Cutelaba fight. Over 1.5 is at minus 160. The over 2.5 is at plus 130. I like both of those looks. I like both of them. Honestly, I think the fight goes distance. I think it's going to be a boring fight. I think it might be exciting for the first 3-4 minutes, but I think Modestas is going to use a lot of the clinch and takedowns and make it a boring fight. So over 1.5 minus 160, over 2.5 plus 130. I think is a good look. The over 2.5 on the Marc-Andre versus Silva, Bruno Silva fight. I think these guys are just going to look like they're sparring out there, honestly. I don't think they're really going to bring it. I don't. I think it's going to be a sluggish kickboxing fight that's going to be super boring. So the over 2.5 plus 115, I think that's a good look. I did all three of these little overs in one of the parlays here. The Shevchenko versus Fiorot, Grasso versus Silva, Aldo versus Zahabi. These are all top tier competition, guys. So I really don't expect either or any of these guys to get finished, or gals, mostly gals actually. So minus 320 for the over 4.5 in the co-main, minus 450 for the Grasso versus Silva fight, over 2.5 for the Aldo versus Zahabi fight. I think those are all live. Mostly, maybe parlay pieces or something to tack on to get a number down somewhere. So, lastly, method of victory props. I don't know the number yet because it's not out, but Benoit Saint Denis inside the distance. Whether KO / sub, inside the distance, he's gonna finish this. Whoever the hell he's going up against, Prepolec. Sounds like a propane or like petroleum, I don't know. Yeah, dude, come on now. Week's notice. He was denying other opponents, is kind of picking out who he wanted to fight. Oh, here's a bum that's willing to fight me, for a paycheck and get knocked out. So, Benoit Saint Denis inside the distance, because his money line's at like minus 1,000. So, inside the distance will be live. I don't know what the number is now. Probably gonna be like minus 300, minus 400. Another parlay piece. Navajo KO. He is going to clap. He is going to finish Erslan, bro. He's going to find that KO shot. It's gonna happen. He's gonna have his moment in the UFC. It's gonna look nice. Belal decision plus 100. He always takes his fights to decision. JDM's pretty tough. So to bring your number down on the minus 200, minus 180, minus 190 on Belal, taken by decision at plus 100. Same thing with Fiorot by decision. She's at plus 110. So her money line's minus 150. KO is really her only finish fear, right? Sub's not live. So, but I don't see her KOing Shevchenko. She's a champion, right? She's damn good. So plus 110 for the Fiorot decision. Navajo decision at plus 225. 225 plus 225 for the Navajo decision. Maybe Erslan's tough. He went up against Cutelaba and went 3 rounds with him. So maybe Navajo does the same thing because he went distance with his last fight. So I don't know, plus 225, not a bad look. Modestas decision plus 275. I just said it in the round props. I think this fight's going to be sluggish. I think Modestas is going to use the clinch and takedowns a lot and make it a boring fight. So plus 275 for the decision. And Mike Mallot sub plus 350. I really like this play, guys. This might become one of my official plays too. I don't know. That or the Katona plus 3.5. I'm really looking at those. So out of all the leans, those are probably my favorite. But yeah, Mike Mallot sub. I think the sub is live, dude. I think he's going to use his wrestling. I think it's going to come out of nowhere. I think he's going to find a good shot on Radtke, whether it be a body shot that puts him down, maybe a hook or a kick to the head. Then he's going to get a club and sub. That's what I think is going to happen. So Mike Mallot sub plus 350. And then guys, now I usually don't do like round betting, like Stirling round 1. Stirling KO round 1, Stirling sub round 1. I usually don't, put those types of plays in the video. At least I do play them on the side. If you guys want me to go over those in the video, let me know in the comments. Something I'd be willing to put in here if you guys are interested. So, lastly, my stay away section. So these are bets and plays I recommend you don't put your hard-earned money on. And honestly, guys, I just have one fight here. The Marc-Andre Barrialt versus Bruno Silva fight. Moneyline and props, okay? Now, the over-under, I had it in the leans, right? But I really don't recommend you bet on a side here or a way of finish. These guys are just on terrible streaks, not looking good. Marc-Andre has like a glass chin now, I guess, getting knocked out terribly, face planted twice. Bruno Silva, not really looking that good either. Getting his butt whooped by decision every fight. Low volume, hesitant. So I'm not, they're not in any of my parlays, right? They're not in any of my official bets. It is a stay away. All right, the money line and props on the Marc-Andre Barrialt versus Bruno Silva fights. All right, guys. That's it. Those are all the official bets. Those are the parlays of the week. Those are my leans, and those are my stayaways. Keep your eyes peeled on the comments. If I do add a play, I'll put them on there. And my Patreon. My Patreon's free. Links in the description. Subscribe to the Patreon. That's where I put all of my plays out before the video comes out. So you can get the odds when they're good. Okay. So again, we made 200 subscribers. We're on the path to 300. Appreciate your support. If you haven't, and or if you like the content you've been watching, you haven't clicked the button, click that subscribe button. Click the like button on the video. Comment. Your share. Your support goes a long way. So I appreciate it, guys. Young Pasty, out. Let's have a great week for UFC 315. Let's go.